Asif Qu. I'm a percussionist who specializes in Middle Eastern percussion. And in this video, I'd like to further demonstrate the use of frame drums. In the previous videos, earlier on in this series, I've shown you a specific frame drum, which is called the Duff, and it's a deep shell Duff, okay? This drum, being deep shell, is a little bit heavier. And I've shown you that generally it's played single-handed, although sometimes I play it double-handed, like this. Yeah, but it's generally played single-handed. So again, I'll just quickly go over how we hold this type of deep shell drum. You'll see in the back, there's a little cutout here, and it's actually angled, so your thumb sits inside this pocket here, okay? And then we wrap our hands around it and have our fingers out the front here. Now, necessarily, our fingers aren't, you'll be able to see here, our fingers aren't touching, they're just below the edge. If you see what I'm saying, okay? So they're not touching the skin on the flat of the skin. They're just resting, the drum is just resting on your hands. You generally keep this elbow, if you can see, inside our shoulder here, so you can see it's tucked in. This helps us use our joints more as opposed to our muscles, and our muscles will tend to get more tired easier. Yeah, it's generally angled sort of like away from you, so it's not angled flat, because if it's angled flat, our wrist has to be like this. So keep everything in a straight line, the wrist straight, the elbow straight inside the wrist, which means that the drum is slightly angled here towards probably our dominant side shoulder. I'm right-handed, so it's my right shoulder is angled towards there, okay? Which means it makes it easier to play. I generally like to play these drums standing up, but I'll demonstrate it sitting down. So the main hits on this drum, there's three main hits when you're playing it single-handed, is the doom sound. So our doom is played with the squidgy part of the hand on this edge. So at the bottom of the fingers, I'm just going to put the drum down here, this squidgy part here tends to hit this edge, and then it's the flat of the finger, so this whole part here will hit the skin and bouncing straight off, so we get a resonance. So it goes, you can hear that resonance, so it's doom, doom. Okay, here. And we have our tech sound, which I explained earlier, and there's two tech sounds we can make with this drum. One is on the edge, okay, here. So that's our tech, so we can go doom, and then our tech on the edge. It gives us one sound. Also, more powerful sound, which is one that generally is used, is the one where we use the pads of the hand, or the fingers, I should say. So the pads of these fingers are hit here and kept on the drum. So where we do a doom and using the pads but stuck on the drum, it stays there. So if I just show you like this is the doom with the flat, and then our tech or sucker slap sound is there. So it's just the pads. Okay, all the tech is here. If I'm playing this drum, especially the deep shell one, I tend to play the tech or slap sound that's in the center. So it's okay. This drum generally plays the basic of each rhythm that is being played at the time. And this generally is the metronome or the rhythm maker that all the other drums follow. So the person that plays this deep shell is one of the most important players, because they keep everyone in time with each other. Everyone looks at the Duff player, okay, and listens out for the Duff player. to make sure that they're on time with him or her. Okay, so they're the most important person. So for example, if we go over the Ayub, okay, the basics of the Ayub is dum, dum, tek, dum, dum, tek. I'm just going to get my rick going. So it goes, after 4, goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Dum, dum, tek, 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 dum, dum. See how I'm using the pads in the middle? I'm just tilting the drum so you can see the pads. Dum, dum, tek, dum, tek, dum. Finish. Okay, so this is the one that is heard, okay, because it has a really deep sound. So that was Ayub rhythm, for example. The Falahi rhythm is played very, very differently with this drum. The essence of the Falahi and the main beats is dum tek tek dum tek dum tek tek dum tek. So this is where this hand has to be really, really quick. I'm going to slow it down a little bit so you can practice single-handed. Okay, so it'll go dum tek tek dum tek dum tek tek dum tek dum tek tek dum tek dum tek tek. After 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and dum tek tek dum tek dum tek tek dum tek dum tek tek dum tek dum tek tek dum tek. Last one. Okay, so that's the basics of that Falahi rhythm. So the 4/4 rhythm that I'm going to show you how to play on this drum is the Maxoom rhythm. Using the same pace as we played the Ayub and Falahi, for example, is going to be really slow, but it'll give us time to get into it. The Falahi, I just wanted to mention, and the Ayub are played at a bit of a faster pace. For example, the Falahi is... Okay, so that's the pace that the Falahi needs to be played at, okay? You need to build up your stamina on holding this drum up, okay? Keeping this elbow in and everything in straight lines. So the Maxoom played at this place, dum tek, tek dum, tek. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So dum tek, tek dum, tek and dum tek, tek dum, tek and dum tek, tek dum, tek and tek dum, tek and tek, tek dum. Second one, dum tek in the set of 4, tek and dum tek. This is the third one, and the fourth one. Okay, so we just put a little flourish in on the fourth one to let everyone know that that set of 4 is finished. Okay, so that's how we play it. Yeah, Masmoudi, for example, the 8-count rhythm. The basic goes dum, 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 tek. But in fact, those S's or those spaces we can fill with our tek sound. So it'll go dum, 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 tek, tek, dum, slap, slap, tek, slap, slap, dum, dum, dum. Just have to accent that last tek. Dum. So you just have to accent the rhythm. Tek, tek, dum, tek, tek, tek. Dum, 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 tek, tek, dum. Tek, tek, dum, 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 dum. Okay, and that one, tek, tek, before the doom of the next rhythm is just a bridge. So on that one, we didn't play it. Wata Kabira is played in a very similar way. For example, we would just play the dum, tek, es tek, dum, dum, tek. Dum, es tek, dum, dum, tek. And dum, es tek, dum, dum, tek. And dum, es tek, dum, dum. Okay, you can see why I like to stand up, because I like to move around a little bit when I'm playing this Duff, okay? And again, any of the rhythms that we've learned in the videos before this, in the whole series, look at those rhythms. Look at the basic that I taught you. Take the basic out of that rhythm and use this drum, the deep shell, to play that on this, okay? Falahi. Okay, get this hand speed going. Takes a little bit of time, I know, but it's really, really lovely drum to play. Sitting behind it and listening to that resonance of that bass is absolutely beautiful. Okay, so that's a deep shell Duff or frame drum. Okay, the other one, which is generally played in a group of them. So this one, being deep shell, a little bit louder, a little bit more powerful, can be played with the darbuka, or is played with the darbuka, and also with the rick, which I will show you how to play in a later video. And so therefore, it's normally played in the ensemble of percussion instruments of the rick, the darbuka, and this deep shell frame drum, because they complement each other really well. This being deep, the darbuka have a sort of like medium high sound, and the rick having a really high sound, so they complement each other. Another type of frame drum, which is used around the Middle Eastern area, Persia and Turkey, is this sort of drum. Okay, so this is a frame drum. This is quite a big one. It's the thin shell one, okay? This one, played with the other drums, I mean, the other drums would drown it out, because this has a completely different sound. So if you listen to the doom on this one, it has a really nice resonance to it, but it's a little bit lower. Okay, has a little bit of a different sound compared to if you were to play that rhythm on this one. It would be this one's a little bit more powerful. This one's just a little bit lighter in sound, equally as gorgeous. So normally you would play this drum either on its own or in a group of these type of drums, ranging from different sizes. Okay, there's a couple of ways that we play this drum. You saw me just now play on my lap, okay? So it's rested on our non-dominant leg, okay? It's played very much like a darbuka, as you could say, okay? But the main difference being is how we play it. The other one's played with more hands, with the whole of the hand. This one tends to be played more with fingers, okay? So our doom sound is played with the whole of our index. It can be played with our hand, or played with the whole of our index. They both have similar sounds, except playing with the index, it's a little bit more delicate, so the drum doesn't move around so much, okay? So our doom sound is played with the whole of the index finger, with the squidgy part of the index on this edge. It's normally played in sort of like a quarter, okay? Here, here. I've got it down here because when we pick it up in the second style, okay, we play at the bottom, and this one we're playing at the top. Okay, so if you look at the half and those quarters, okay, so again, the doom is played with our index, and it's just thrown in. You can hear that resonance, absolutely beautiful, and it carries on. It can be really, really atmospheric. atmospherical. Okay, I'm just going to stop that resonance, holding the drum. Our tech is played right on this edge here. You can hear. So let me just make you listen to if you don't hit the doom right. Yeah. You can see it sounds okay there, but here it has a really beautiful resonance, okay? So check that out yourself on your own frame drum. And our tech is played with our ring finger, okay? And it's right on the edge. You might see or think my hand is turning, so I'm turning this way and turning that way to throw my hands in. The turning action is a secondary motion. It's not powered by this turning, okay? My hand, I'm throwing it in straight. So this is my doom, and then this is my tech. So I'm going in, but if I'm doing it together, it looks as though my wrist is turning. It's a secondary motion. It's the flick from the wrist that's making the sound, okay? So we've got a doom tech, doom, doom. That's the tech that we need to make. Okay, so this here is our car. Same finger. Right on this edge. You can see if you go lower, you can make a doom sound as well, but this is not what we want at this moment in time. So we want it right on this edge. Looks as though my middle finger's going in with it, but it's not actually hitting. Okay, so this is our car. We have our three major sounds. So it's doom, our tech with our ring, and then our car with our ring finger on our non-dominant hand. So that's one way of holding this drum, and literally you're on. If you put the drum resting on your thigh, this is like at 12 o'clock, but it hits just to the side on this edge here. Yeah, try not to have anything like that. You can rest your thumb on there and have your thumb as a hold. That's using a slap, yeah, but you don't really get much out of it using the slap. I prefer to use the tech there because you can hear the resonance. Yeah, that was a dud one, so this is the tech. Okay, okay, example. So our next method of playing this type of drum, which has many different names, a Duff or a tar or whatever, and they have different, it can be called a bendir, so they have different things that go with this. So this is a plain one, you can see it's just a plain one, has a little cutout there for our second style of playing. But in Morocco, they're slightly a thicker shell, still quite a lot more lighter than the deep shell that I showed you, and they have a couple of snares on the back, so they give you a little bit of a zzz, right? And that's called a bendir, okay? In Iran, they have chains on the back of these drums, and depending on which way you hold them and which way you shake, yeah, you have a secondary sound. So it goes doom, ch, doom, tack, doom, ch, doom, tack, doom, my sound effects of the chain, yeah, or they are just constantly like shaken like this and played. Okay, a style which I'm still trying to grasp the timing of, together with everything else that we're trying to learn as well, right? So there are many different names for this style of drum. Okay, if you don't have this one, you can use like a shamanic drum or a buran and stuff like that. I've used a buran in the past and stuff, but it just doesn't have the resonance of this one. Do you know what I mean? Of these type of ones. This is a plastic head, okay, which means that I don't have to worry about it losing its tension in the humidity in the like Western climate that we have. The deep shell one. That's skin, so it does lose its tension sometimes. So you have to be very careful with that drum. Okay. So next I want to show you the second style of playing this drum. It's held in a very similar way as we did with the deep shell Duff. If you can see, there's a cutout just here in this drum. So this is where the thumb and the squidgy part of the thumb goes inside. So you can see that there. Okay. Then the thumb rests just to the side, okay? And then it's held with the flat of our hand. And again, the fingers are not on the skin, but they're just slightly off it, okay? And then this hand is also free to play a note, okay? Then, working in this bottom quarter, in the other style we use the top quarter, working in this bottom quarter, we place our thumb around about here, so the top of the quarter would be sort of like 3 or 9, depending which way you're looking at it. And this thumb is rested to the side here, okay? And this gives us a little bit of a pivot to play our notes, okay? Again, like I said, I prefer to stand up to play this, but I'm going to show you sat down. So I come just a little bit less than a quarter, and when you've done that, I just turn the drum a little bit, so it gives us a little bit of leverage with our hands, and the weight is distributed properly for the drum. And again, our doom sound is played, and it's a pivot that happens on this thumb. Yeah, with our index finger again, so it's doom, doom. Sometimes you can play the whole hand if you want to. Yeah, so you can see I've got the doom. And again, the squidgy part, depending on the size of your hand, you just have to feel where it's more comfortable and where you get the best resonance, yeah? It's not there, so it's there. You can hear when you get the right resonance. The squidgy part of the hand is on this edge here. And again, using the ring finger, we play our tap. We can have the sucker, a little bit of a grab. So this again is where we use the pads, and I spread my fingers. You don't have to, but this is just the way that I play. Okay, and so we have a doom, tech, slap, and our car is down here. Okay, so we have all our sounds as you've learnt before, but again, it's just played in a different style and a different way. Instead of playing, for example, like this on the darbuka, we're up, okay, especially with our non-dominant hand. So it has an amazing resonance, okay? So very similarly, okay, to the variations that we play on the darbuka, it's using the same sounds, okay? Our doom sound, our tech sound, our car sound here, okay? And it's just using the same sort of variations in rhythm, same sounds, but just in a slightly different way to get this drum to be played. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in the next set of videos, and see you soon. Thanks very much.